I'm going to be quick and share one of the videos why they decided to put me on the FBI watch list. And I apologize about my son playing in the background. Perhaps maybe I could sit him down. Hold on. One moment, please. So to be quick, here, let me put you here just one moment. Thank you. Okay, so this was my ex-husband. He's from Vietnam. Long story short, we got married. I wanted a divorce. I'm going very quick. So I wanted a divorce. I'll talk about that later on in some other future video and why we got married, how we got married, why I wanted a divorce. Even a case came out of this because my sister, when I was wanting a divorce, my sister, and this was back when I was like 23, 24 years old, and I was a pretty nice, sweet girl. As you can see, I had a big smile. I was a polite person. But yeah, anyways, so my sister came downstairs, the middle sister of the younger. She's this my dad that well he's my stepdad, but we call him dad. And my mom married him after she had two kids already, myself and my brother. We were from two different men. She married the third guy, and then they had four children: three sisters, one boy. The boy is the oldest, and the three sisters. The second from the oldest sister is the one who called went upstairs when she came down after coming downstairs and seeing me push this guy on the couch to get him off of me. But she took that as I was fighting him, and she sided with him for some reason, and she went and ran upstairs to tell me to my parents why like that I was fighting him, and she didn't even see what fully happened. So that's when I knew that my sisters were against me because of that. I'm like instantly they were always siding with other people. Just saw 144. So anyways, longer story short, him and I were tussling outside. It was about 40 minutes. We were tussling around the whole neighborhood. Well, that part that we lived by on one of the videos where I showed don't be fooled by a neighborhood, look like by a classy neighborhood because witches and warlocks live amongst you. That video. So anyways, it was on the fence of the house I showed you where the after those people moved out who were living there when this wrestle happened. On that video I mentioned how one of the guys in there walked out after I walked out at night, and he was really close behind me being quiet, and I pulled a knife out. Anyways, 222. So I just after tussling with him, he was mad because he knew I was trying to get to work, and if I went to work, that means I would have had money to get a divorce, which is what he didn't want. So he tried to creates I noticed that the fight happened, and I wanted a divorce like just really quick. I'm going to say I saw him looking up things online how to basically blackmail me or defraud me. So because he knew it was going to get to the point where I was going to ask for a divorce because I already moved out of his house, and then he came and moved into my parents' house when I moved back in with my parents. And then that's how that fight happened, where I pushed him off of me trying to get to work, and he pulled me and tried to say no and fight and blah blah blah. And we went outside. Long story short, he crashed my phone because I had proof. I tried to call the police to help me so that I wouldn't be getting in trouble, go to jail, and it'd be my fault. But my parents called the cops for him, on me, and my sisters had something to do with it. That sister, you know who you are. I I left. I fled the scene, but I didn't run. So the police had arrived. I put on a Yushanka, or whatever they call that Russian Soviet Union looking hat with flaps that people wear. It was red and black, and I had a big leather coat on that I walked casually out the door. And this was after I finished beating his ass because I was tired of him bear hugging me and trying to pull me down to the ground. He was literally wrestling me and doing moves, becoming really violent. And this dude went to school to be a computer scientist. And when he was teaching me some of the stuff, he realized I was actually a lot more intelligent than he had recognized. So I knew that he had decided to come up with some sort of official plan to be fraudulent, because he knew I wasn't wanting to stay married to him anymore when I realized how fraudulent these people that he knew and his family members were. So anyways, they called the cops. The cops came to talk to either him or someone outside that was in the house, and I just casually walked past the cops. They saw me, but because I was so calm and relaxed when I walked, I just said, if the cop calls me and they say, am I that individual they're looking for, I was going to turn around and respond to them. But since they didn't, I kept walking, and once I got to the edge of the street, I gunned it. I took the big heavy leather black jacket I was wearing, I put it on the ground, and I took the hat off, and I ran through the construction site of the houses that are now built up over there. And I ran through a rose bush, and I hid in a trash can on the side of a neighbor's house in the next neighborhood over for 2 hours making sure the police couldn't find me. And then I got out. I had, it was a trash can that had a little bit of green grass from it being cut and the debris trash can. And then I got out of it, and then I walked, and it started raining. I was muddy. I went to Robert Porter's house. He let me wash my clothes there, and I stayed with his mom for like nearly a month until I met Bo Thomas, which was a black man who was in a red Jeep Wrangler, an older one, and he was trying to befriend me. He saw me walking on the side of the road, or somehow we met. And down the street off Baseline Road in Beaverton, Oregon, not too far from that liquor store that's off Baseline Road in Beaverton or Aloha, that area, not too far from where that Wendy's is. For people who live in that area, you know what I'm talking about. Bo Thomas stayed with a roommate there. We went to his house to play poker, but he said, let's play strip poker. I lost, and then he wanted me to strip. He got upset because I wouldn't strip, so he called the cops on me because of my big mouth telling him, I opened up to him telling him about there being some sort of warrant or something, and he used that against me, little trashy ass nigga. That's why I was against Negroes, because of them doing stuff like that, because they didn't get their way, and they lack accountability. A lot of them. So that's where some of the hatred came from that I was talking about in the other video, where I said I had to get over some of the hatred. I still have some disgust about those behaviors, but I did do some healing because I'm able to. Well, anyways, that's not what this is about right now. So anyways, longer story short, after I finally did, I called an attorney to get some information on what they were trying to charge me with. And then, so I knew already before Bo Thomas called the cops that I would be most likely going to jail and being arrested. So it was snowing that night. I left his house. He told me to get out of his house because I wouldn't undress. And I was like, wow, so you drove me all the way over here when we were already back at where I was staying at, and you drove me over here, and because I wouldn't strip, you making me walk all the way back home. So anyways, the police pinged my phone. I threw it in the bushes. They were driving. I already knew they were looking for me. They passed by me because I was walking. I wasn't running. Then they came back. I was going to hide, but I said, you know what? If this is my time, I'm going to go ahead and let them take me in. So they took me in. And because I was so calm and relaxed and cooperated very well with them, they thought something was wrong with me. They was like, so they were like, do you have any mental issues or something? Because I was so cooperative, like, as if they were my buddies. The dude even offered me a cigarette and went to go buy me some food before taking me in for questioning. They got me drinks, like a coffee, not drinks like alcohol. Then they said, well, you know what it is. And we listened to some music and we bawled. And this was the more polite Hillsborough police back then, before the racist Digikov Lithuanian looking officer that was racist, that stole my vehicle, my automobile, saying I didn't have the title. I actually still have the title for that car he towed because he didn't give me time. So anyways, you piece of crap. I just wanted to say that really quick. I don't care what you guys do, because you already been trying to do things to me for years. So I'm speaking out and telling the truth about why some of this stuff is happening, why they decided to put me on a watch list. And because I do know too much about certain things, but I didn't speak out until I was tired of people harassing me, even years ago. And then I was silenced, and I've been quiet for some years. And then they started back up with this crap again. So now I'm speaking out fully about what's been going on. So anyways, longer story short, I went to court. The 7 people that was on the stand that were not witnessing, but the jury, they were in my favor. So that case got dismissed when they tried to get me in trouble for an assault in third degree, or some type of heavy assault case, because I did beat his ass, but he tried to make it worse than what it actually was. So anyways, I remember after or some point before that happened, or they had given me money that had some calligraphy that was either Japanese or Cantonese or Korean, I don't know, but it was red and it was lined all around the rim of the money. And one time I made a video speaking out about wanting someone to tell me what that was, because it was demonic. So now I know that money was cursed, and it was most likely blood money, because what happened after that, it was some strange activities that started happening once he gave me that money, and I knew it was something about it. Yeah, I needed it for a car repair, and I think this happened a little bit before the fight happened. So anyways, he gave me the money, and then I went to go pay for my Audi to get fixed at Master Tech Auto, and they were trashy ass people too. Like, they try to scam the fuck out of you, so beware of those people in Vancouver. So yeah, anyways, after that stuff happened, it was all kind of supernatural activities that were happening to me, and I was I knew that I saw things that wasn't normal, but I didn't really speak out on it. Like, for instance, I was home alone in his house before I left his house, and when I got out of the shower, there was a footprint that was wet, and I hadn't gotten out of the shower yet. So that, and it was in a weird shape. So that freaked me out. So after I left his house and went to my mom's house a little bit before he came to their house, to stay there with me. It was part of his plan. I'll get into that maybe some other time. But anyways, longer story short, I was asleep. I was laying on the couch, and so I was laying on the couch like this. I fell asleep downstairs on the couch. I was laying as if I was dead, and that's so. I woke up a little bit, and I remember, not I woke up a little bit. I heard stomping on the ceiling, like boom, 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 and it was at night. So I was like, "What is that sound?" I heard something on the ceiling, and then next thing you know, I was hearing it, but I wasn't seeing anything. So I think I was falling asleep, and I was listening, and or was like kind of awake. And the reason why I'm not sure if I was kind of awake is because I remember at one point my eyes were closed, and it's like I was asleep in the dream state. My eyes were closed, but my I guess my third eye, my spirit realm saw what was going on outside, and I was laying on the couch facing this way, and let's pretend this window is the balcony of my mom's house, my mom and dad's house. So when I was asleep, I saw two angel looking beings that were like flying, with not flying, they were floating, like levitating, and they were carrying something. It's like they had their arms like interlocked like this, and they were moving some figure. I couldn't see it. They were traveling, they were gliding back and forth, wrestling with it in the backyard. And how I know that is not an illusion is because my sisters came downstairs, and but my eyes were closed, and for some reason I was still and I could not move. So something was, it felt like I was bound, or tied, or maybe some angel or some being was, they wrapped themselves around me to protect me, and I was laying on, and I could not move, and it's like I couldn't move, like I tried to, but I could not move. And but I felt peace though. And then next thing you know, there's like they were wrestling, and then my sister, I woke my she came over the couch, and I had woke up finally, and said, so I was like, what's the matter, Anna? Because I knew what was going on outside, so I was wondering if she would tell me if she heard or see anything. She was like, oh, nothing, Nene, just you can go back to sleep. But she kind of had a nasty attitude with it, and I was like, in my mind I was like, wow. And then I was like, don't worry, I'll hear them talking about it later on when I wake up. And then I just lay back down. I mean, I closed my eyes and I went back to sleep. And then I was like, she thinks that I don't know what was going on outside. So what was happening was, and plus my sister, she later told me, the oldest one, not the middle one, the oldest one of my dad's actual biological daughter, she told me that she went to go open the garage door, and it was unlocked, and she couldn't open it. It was stuck closed. And then on top of that, like, I feel weird with this freaking thing. So on after that happened, she said that they heard thundering and lightning, not thundering and lightning, but thunder, like stuff moving, like crashing sounds. So she went to go look out the window to see what that was happening outside, but she didn't know what it was, and they couldn't see it. But I saw what was going on out there, but I didn't see the figure, the actual entity that the two angel beings were wrestling and taking from one end of the yard to the other, and they got rid of it. And so I think they sent some sort of entity to kill me, and to make it look like an accident, or that I died in my sleep. Because if nobody knew that story, they would just think, they would say anything that they wanted to say, and say, oh, she died this way or she died that way. But it was an entity that was sent to get me, and I heard it walking on the ceiling. And I know this sounds like some fable, but this is for the people who will receive it. I don't care about the people who's gonna be like, oh, y'all know she lost it, she crazy. This is what I got to say to y'all. But I'm sorry, because the story I'm telling. So I knew that I must have been still here for a reason. Because why would I be protected from an entity that was sent after me, after that money was given to me, that was cursed with red calligraphy in Japanese or Cantonese or Korean, symbols around all around it. And I remember making a video trying to ask somebody if they could tell me what that was back in 2017, because 2017 is when I got a divorce from him, and it was finalized because he made a fraudulent restraining order against me. So I made a restraining order back against him, telling the truth of why he made a restraining order, and it was revealing too much truth. So his lawyer decided to agree to tell him that we'll get a divorce free and clear, and he agrees to drop the restraining order order on me, and if I agree to drop it on him, because it was going to mess him up from having to go to be able to work in his field. Meanwhile, I'm over here struggling trying to get a job in certain places like tech jobs and stuff like Sigma STEM, and being kicked out of Meritron and other jobs because of these people bribing people that they know it, because they've been watching me in my life. And this is part of the reason why I'm on the watch list, because of the information that I knew, because I found out about an organized crime of the government being involved in it. And that's why the lawyer dropped the case when I revealed the truth in an email about what had been going on. And he knew that if it had been revealed openly, that they would be taken down as well, because everything would trace back to them. And the attorney at the time was Michael Purcell. And for my Asian husband, um, Vietnamese husband. So he dropped the case, and ever since then, stuff has not been easy for me, because I never spoke out about it, but that email was too much proof, and that's part of the reason why somebody went and illegally had me placed on this fucking list so these people can follow me. So that's why all of you are going down, and I don't care if you try to do something to kill me, because in the spirit realm, I asked for permission to come after you guys, and I'm gonna wreak a havoc. You're gonna think that we already came into the apocalypse, and it's not time yet, and it's only for the people who were all involved. And I remember all of you, everyone who's involved, anybody who's connected to the people who was coming after me to fuck with my life when I was just trying to mind my business. I did everything I was supposed to do. I was a good person. I was polite. I was considerate, and I was caring. I was not messy. I stayed to myself. I was drama free. I was a happy-go-lucky girl. And you guys wanted to do this. Now it's going to backfire on you. Somebody told me that I was a powerful woman. They ain't seen nothing yet. So go ahead and think you want to try to release me from my body. You will be helping me out more than you know.